everyone, this is me Garima Singh. I hope you all are doing well. Today we're gonna discuss chapter first of class 10th NCRT. I'm discussing economics. So let's move on to chapter number 1. Chapter number 1 is development. So we will read about development, holistic development. Basically in this chapter, development in this chapter we shall make a beginning for understanding development, what development means. It is only through a democratic political process that these hopes and possibility can be achieved in real life. The idea of development or progress have always been with us. We have aspiration or desire about what we would like to do, how we would like to live. So what we read about it, development itself in this chapter. Then next is what development promises. Different people, different goal. Obviously, the same goal is not applicable on everybody. Different people have their different goal, have their different need, and development will differ to different people. So in this, basically, people seek things that are most important for them. That is, which can fulfill their aspiration or desire. In fact, times two person or group of person may seek things which are conflicting. So two things are quite clear is that different person can have different development goals. What may be developed for one may not be developed for the other. It may even be destructive for the other. Here, like example is given for landless rural labor. What development for him is more days of work, better wages. Then prosperous farmer for Punjab. For what development for him is assured a high family income through higher support, and as well as they should be able to settle their children abroad. That is the development for a prosperous farmer from Punjab. For example, a girl from a rich urban family. What development for her is she get as much freedom as a brother and is able to decide what she want to do in life. She able to pursue her studies abroad. So different people have different categories for being developed. Adivasi from Narmada Valley, what he want is that the forest should not be the trees in forest should not be cut down so that their residential area should not be destroyed by making very or any other thing. So that is developed from Adivasi from Narmada Valley. Urban unemployment youth development for him is when he get a job according to his qualification. Farmer who depend only on rain for cropping crops. So development for him is other source of irrigations like tube wells, canals, other electric source. So development differ for different people. Next, move on to the topic that is income and other goals. So what people desire are regular, better wages, decent price for their crops or other products that they produce. In other words, they want more income. People want more income. Then people also seek things like equal treatment, freedom, security, respect for others. Even money or material things that one can buy with it is one of the factor on which our life depends, on non-material things. Even there are many things that are not easily measured but they mean a lot to our life. These are often ignored. Then similarly for development, people look at a mix of goals. The development goal that people have are not only about better income but also about better not about better income but also about other important things in life as well. That was income and goal. Even some companies provide less salary but offer regular employment which enhance sense of security. So many people like this kind of goal, this kind of income where they get constant income. Even in other case, some companies provide high salary but offer no job security. They reduce sense of security, so some people don't like this kind of job. People prefer to earn more income for fulfilling their daily requirement of life. Companies provide material things like money, but people also want non-material things like freedom, security, and respect of others. So that include income and other goals. Here, people want income as well as respect, security, high promotion, both. So both things should be included. Next is national development. So national development refer to a ability of a nation to improve standard of living of its citizen, basically provide employment, improve their standard of living. Eventually the development of nation get increase. So in this way national development can be increased, as well as the standard of living of citizen depend upon per capita income, so gross domestic product, literacy rate, and availability of health, etc. These factors are also considered as measure of development. Then basically national development means thinking about fair and just path for all, whether there is a better way of doing things. So here a very important thing to keep in mind is that different person could have different as well as conflicting notion of a country's development. That was all about national development. But the basic thing in national development is provide employment so that standard of living get increased. Next is how to compare different countries or state. So we can compare different country or state on the basis of per capita income. We cannot take national income to compare different countries because each country has different population rate. Even per capita income is calculated by dividing total income of a country to total population of that particular country. So per capita income of a country shows the standard of living of the citizen of that particular country. Even a country with higher per capita income is more developed than other with less per capita income. So development is different in different countries, as well as how to measure development is different in different countries. For comparing countries, their income is considered to be one of the most important attribute. The income of a country is the income of all the resident of the country. This gives us the total income of the country. Then for comparison between country, total income is not such useful measure because here population also take into consideration. Um, Hence we compare the average income, which is the country divided by its total population. The average income you can also know that it's known as per capita income. In World Development Report brought by the World Bank, they are they compare different countries uh, state in sense of income or in sense of development. India comes in the category of low middle income countries because its per capita income in 2013, I'm telling you the last I think 2013 data. At that time it was 150 $1,570 per, even per individual have this much per capita income. So that's why it come in the category of low middle income. Next is income and other criteria. So in this one, here we just compare the per capita income of state like Maharashtra, Kerala, Bihar. Maharashtra has the highest per capita income and Bihar is at the bottom. So if a per capita income were to be used as the measure of development, Maharashtra will be considered as the most developed state of the three. Here Haryana, Kerala, Bihar. So here the most developed state in sense of per capita income is Haryana and Bihar is the lowest. If Maharashtra will be there, then Maharashtra will be at the top. So for achieving development goal of a people, people not only want better income, they also want non-material things like freedom, security, and respect of others. As per the table, Haryana had toppest position with 162,034 per capita income, where Bihar was in the bottom position with 31454 per capita income. It means person in Haryana earned this much amount in a year, whereas a person in Bihar earned only 31,454 in 1 year. So Haryana is more developed than Bihar. We can conclude this from table. Development of a nation is also depend upon literacy rate. That was our per capita income that related to mortality rate, literacy rate, and both factor the development of a country or state is rely. These are the mortality rate. In Haryana, mortality rate is more. So we no, the more mortality rate is infant is in Bihar. So Bihar at the top in infant mortality rate, whereas Kerala at the bottom. So here being at the bottom is good. As well as literacy rate, Kerala has the highest literacy rate. So in literacy rate, the state which top is the best, and in infant mortality rate, the state which at bottom is the best. That what I have discussed. Let's talk about public facility which are provided by the government, considered as public facility like school, hospital, community halls, transport, electricity. As we know that Punjab has more income than average person in Kerala, but Kerala has a low infant mortality rate because better public system like public distribution system which provide health and distribution state to the state. We need a public facility because we are not able to purchase all things by money. We cannot able to buy a pollution free environment with the help of money, so we need a public facility. Then money may also not be able to protect you from infectious diseases unless the whole of your community take preventive step. As well as normally your money cannot buy the pollution free environment or ensure that you get unadulterated medicine unless you can afford to shift to a community that already has all these things. So I can say money in your pocket cannot buy all the goods and services that you may need to live well. Income by itself is not a completely adequate indicator of material goods and services that citizens are able to use. So in this case, we need public facility. Next is about let's discuss a bit of human development. What do you mean by human development? So development of an individual in such a way that he can able to earn and fulfill his materialistic desire, that is human development. So he get good health, good literacy rate, and standard of living also. Next talk about the last topic, that is sustainability of development. Sustainable development is one thing that we have studied here. It is sustainability of development. So we will discuss what sustainability. Sustainable development refer to a development of human with at the same time sustaining the ability of natural system. It is helpful to fulfill the need of the human being without harming the ability of the future generation. That is sustainable development. Some renewable resource like groundwater will take more, you can say, long time for replenish. So we should use that resources in finite quantity. Otherwise, they get finite, yeah, because they are renewable. Then, what about sustainability? You can write. You can say resources are replenished by nature, as in the case of crops and plants. So they are renewable. So you can use in finite number. In case of groundwater, if we use more than what is being replenished by rain, then we would be overusing these resources. It takes time to get back into that normal phase. Consequence of environmental degradation do not respect national or state boundary. This issue is no longer regional or nation specific. At last, I can say sustainability of development, comparatively a new area of knowledge in which scientists, economists, philosophers, and other social scientists are working together. Next, That's about. Let's move on to the solution of this chapter. Development of a country can generally be determined by, I can say, its per capita income by all of the above. So answer should be all of the above. Development of a country can generally be determined by all of the above: its per capita income, literacy level, and health status of its people. Next, which of the following neighboring countries have better performance in terms of human development than India? It's Sri Lanka. Next, assume there are four families in a country. The average per capita income of these families 5,000. If income of three families 4,000, 7,000, 3,000 respectively, what is the income of fourth family? It should be this. You can, that's very easy. It should be 6,000. Next, what is the main criteria used by World Bank in classifying different countries? What are the limitation of this criteria, if any? So, per capita income is the main criteria used by the World Bank in classifying different countries. The limitation is that it does not show distribution of income. It also ignores other factors such as infant mortality rate, literacy level, healthcare. So that is the limitation of per capita income criteria. Next is, in what respect is the criteria used by UNDP for measuring development different from the one used by World Bank? World Bank only uses per capita income for measuring development, while UNDP uses many other factors like infant mortality, healthcare facility, education level, which help in improving the quality of life and helps in making the citizen more productive. In short, you can say that World Bank uses only per capita income, whereas UNDP, along with per capita income, it's used other factor also. Next is, why do we use averages? Are there any limitation to their use? Illustrate with your own example. Um, I would say we use averages because they are useful for comparing different quantities of the same category. For example, to compute the per capita income of a country, averages have to be used because there are difference in the income of diverse people. However, there are limitations to the use of average. This does not show distribution of thing between people. For example, if a country has a very high per capita income, then we can say that citizens living in that country are very rich because we are not knowing about the distribution of wealth in that country. Some people might be richer while other people are very poorer in that country. Next is, Kerala with lower per capita income has a better human development ranking than Haryana. Hence per capita income is not useful criteria at all and should not be used to compare state. Do you agree? So here you write, no, I do not agree with the statement that per capita income is not useful criteria at all. Kerala with lower per capita income has a better human development ranking than Punjab because human development ranking is determined using a combination of factors such as health, education, and income. So this does not imply that per capita income is not useful. Rather, per capita income is one of the development factor that cannot be neglected. And the World Bank uses per capita income as the criteria for measuring development and comparing states. But this criteria has certain limitation because of its determination of human development index is done using this criteria along with the other development factor like health, education, etc. Next is, find out the present source of energy that are used by people in India. What could be the other possibility 50 years from now? The present source of energy that are used by the people of India are electricity, coal, crude oil, cow dung, and solar energy. Other possibility 50 years from now could include ethanol, biodiesel, nuclear energy, and better utilization of wind energy, especially with imminent danger of oil resources running out. Next, why is the issue of sustainability important for development? The issue of sustainability is important for development because development must be in tandem with the future. If natural resources are not sustained, then development will stagnate after a point of time. Exploiting resources unethically will ultimately undo the development that a country may have achieved. This is because in the future those resources will not be available for further progress. Next is the earth has enough resource to meet the need of all people, but not enough to satisfy the greed of even one person. The earth has enough resource to meet the need of all, but not enough to satisfy the greed of one person. This statement is relevant to the discussion of development. Since both resources and development go hand in hand, for sustainability of development, the maintenance of resource is also crucial. As the statement claims, the earth has enough resource, renewable and non-renewable resource to satisfy everyone's needs. However, these um, need to be used with a view to keep environment protected and clean so that a balance of production and use in maintained and shortages are avoided. Next, a list of few example of environmental degradation that you may have observed around you. So here you can quote deforestation, soil erosion, felling leaves of groundwater, depletion of ozone layer, combustion from automobile causing extreme air pollution and water pollution. These are the example of environmental degradation. Next, 1 point for each of the item given in table 1.6. Let's go to 1.6. Where is that table number? It's 1.7. This is so. This is the table. Just look at it because we have to solve 11 question from that itself. Next, now move into the question. Find out which country is at the top and which is at the bottom. So from here, let's move on to the table. Now I'm going to explain. It's 1.5. Yes. Per capita income in US dollar, top country are Sri Lanka and bottom country is Nepal. Per capita, no. Gross national GNI, life expectancy means cooling. Okay. Then life expectancy at both top country is Sri Lanka and bottom country is Pakistan. Next is gross enrollment ratio. Top countries Sri Lanka and lowest is it's Nepal. Then HDI rank in the world. Top country is Sri Lanka and the lowest is I think it's Pak. Next move on to the 12th chapter. Question what? We have covered done with 11. No, we have that was 12th question. Let's move on to 13th question. The following table shows the proportion of adult 15 to 49 years whose BMI is below normal in India. It is based on a survey of various states. Look at the table and we have to basically compare the nutrition level of people in Kerala and Madhya Pradesh. So compare, can you, what are the other question? I can say the nutrition, the answer of this one, the nutritional level of people of Kerala is quite higher than the people, both male and female, of Madhya Pradesh. Then the ratio of undernutrition is less than that of Madhya Pradesh. Even there is enough food in the country, even the 40% of the people in the country are under nutrition because a large number of people are so poor that they cannot afford nutritious food. In most of the state, the public distribution system does not function properly and the poor people cannot get cheap food items. There is a lack of education and health facility in many parts of country, so many people remain backward and poor. As such, they are unable to get nutritious food. So we are done with this chapter. Have discussed all the questions. Pause it again and again if you want to know the answers of these questions. Pause, listen, write, whatever you want to do. You can do, just go through these questions. That's for today.